one of the guys who was my dearest and closest, like a blood brother to me, is MEL CHANCY, right?
Oh, sure, sure.
Oh, I just talked to him today. And
Yeah, he's huge into bodybuilding.
oh
Excuse me,
yeah,
huge into bodybuilding, and I've actually been trying to get him on. And but one great thing about Mel is anytime I ever DM him on Instagram, he always responds, even
yeah,
though
he will.
he doesn't know me from a hole in the wall. I've been doing this for about 3 years, and like once a year I try to see if I can get him on. And then he's always either like under contract or something like that and whatever.
None of that right now. But I told him I'm doing this with you tonight when he called me.
Really?
Yeah, I was at Lowell's buying some shit, and he called me, and I said, "Yeah, I got to do the podcast with John tonight." And he goes, "Yeah, I talked to that dude. He seems like a really cool dude, man."
I appreciate that, man.
And
Thank you.
he says, "Yeah, tell him I said hi." And I said, "I will." And he goes, "As soon as we could sell this script, man, I'm going to be free, free to do whatever I want, and those guys." And he says, "So if the guy's cool and you do the show with him," he says, "Yeah, I'll do some of those shows with you." And I said, "It's cool, bro."
That means the world to me, because you know why it means so much to me, man. And here's the funny part. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and then now I live in New Jersey, and I'm a sewer worker. I'm a blue collar guy, and I come from a family of electricians, and I just wanted to start a podcast, like I said, about 3.5 years ago, and the guys who always seem to like try or either go out of their way just a little bit to help me, like exactly what you said. What's funny is they're like the federally prosecuted like guys who know what it's like to like be at rock bottom in prison, so on and so forth. So like guys like you, Mooch, Danny D'Lo. Then you got the mob guys like Larry Mazza, who always tries to help me out. Frankie Steele, this other guy, all these mafia guys from New York that try to help me out, that have been in prison for so long, for God knows how long, and truly appreciate MEL CHANCY saying that. So Mel, getting back,
and I was going to tell you, Mel's the one who stuck up for me, John. When Pat put me out good, but no contact, Mel says, "Why don't you come to Chicago?" He was the president of Chicago.
Okay.
He said, "Why don't you come here?" And of course I would have went there because, man, me and him were best of friends when he was a HELLS henchman.
Okay.
Mel's a funny guy, bro. Funny. Okay. I mean, he'll crack you up just on the goofy shit that he does,
Yeah, I don't know him very well, but I just admire him for the interviews I've seen of him, the bodybuilding, obviously, because we have that in common. So he's a great. He seems to be a man of character, a man of honor.
Yes.
That's
Yes, he really is, man. And it was funny because he went to the OM in New York City, and he asked Pat at the meeting, "How come you got Pee Wee out good but no contact? That don't make sense. That's not even a rule we have in the club. Either you're out bad or you're out good. If you're out good, we can talk to you."
Right.
Another member says, "Yeah, if you're all good, we get the guys come down and drink beers at the clubhouse and stuff.
Hang out.
Because you're still good, John. You're still a good guy. But me, you couldn't talk to me." And I think this is what I think, John. I think because he didn't want me talking to anybody like I'm talking to you right now about the whole bullshit. And what I was going to tell you is when we did that show together, and it was just last week, we're on there and they're asking questions about me and stuff. I was watching it, and when Pat got to 20 years, he rolled, bro. He rolled. Yeah. Okay. And he started, and I think he rolled before his going away party. I mean, I can't prove that, bro, but I'm telling you that's what I believe in my heart.
Right.
And, so the whole Tony Beretta thing's gone with the bird,
Right.
It's gone. So he made a deal with the feds, and he ratted on like about 42 of us.
Jesus, man.
That he ratted on, and all they did was take 10 years off his 20-year sentence. That poor guy still had to go do 8.5 years, So Yeah, I know it's not 20, but you know, to hold your head up like a man and walk around. And I said in my book, I said I hold no animosity toward him, and he did whatever he did for whatever reason he did. But I'm not in the club anymore, bro. He's not in the club. So why should I sit here, doing this podcast and telling you, oh, that rat son of a bitch, I hate him. I don't hate him, I don't hate him. And I'll just can tell you this because it blew my mind. He texted me yesterday.
Wow, really?
I haven't talked to him forever, bro.
Wow.
Ever. You know what he said? He said, hey, you did a great job, Pee Wee. He says, you're a good speaker and everything. And he goes, being a president isn't cracked up to what it's supposed to be. Right. I had many hard times as a president. And he goes, probably my biggest regret ever was misjudging you and sending you down the road. And I apologize. Hey, bro, that meant a lot to me.
Of course.
It did. And he says, yeah, I know you. I bought one of his books when I was in prison, right? And I read his book, Breaking the Code. That's the book he wrote.
Okay.
With the cop who busted him. So
right.
I says to him, I bought your book. You bought one of mine. And he goes, okay. And he bought one,
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I'm not sitting here on no hate wagon, but Christ, man, it took all that. I moved up there. I did everything they asked, man, and still got a boot up the ass. So when Mel was trying to get me to come to Chicago, Mel caught that big beef, where he went to prison.
Oh, man, you couldn't catch a break.
No. So then he went to prison. So I started feeling like the Black Widow, bro. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And then, I was always good friends with Frisco, and Frisco treated me so good. And I flew out there one time, and I went to one of their New Year's Eve parties, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you come here?" And I said, "Really? Can I make it here, man?" And they go, "What do you mean?" I was thinking like job-wise, California, man, is like New York.
Right.
I mean, you got to make like top dollar just to survive there.
Yeah.
Everything's expensive. You know that, bro. And they're like, no, you'll do good here, And I did, and I was happy because Frisco is the first charter is San Bernardino, right? Purdue. Mm-hmm. Second one was Frisco, man. So I mean, there's their history, right?
Right.
Second charter ever of Hell's Angels, and I was in it. So when Pat said you can come back, come to the meeting next week, and come up there, stand in front of the room, and tell us, what your plans are.